Young lady, how you gonna do that? How you gonna pell the people equipment over the stage and kick down people equipment? You know how much money people spend for the equipment? How you gonna do that? After all the money you spend to go that show, right? You end up on the stage and trying to destroy equipment. Way you in trouble now. You have more money to spend. That didn't make no sense. You need to control the emotions out here because you're happening. No matter how you feel, it's not gonna make the situation change. So you need to control the emotions. Better than that. You might have some more money to pay. You might end up in court. You might end up in jail for that stupidness you do. That didn't make sense. Cartel put out a statement, and we see in the promoters and Sabak, and they say he collect 80% of the money, so he had a right to shop, and he would have get the rest. But my thing is, agreement is agreement. The level Cartel is on. Cartel is an international artist, right? We have Marshall Montano here, who not as international as Cartel. And Marshall is function with real professionalism when it comes to issues. You have to pay you up front. Right? So Cartel would be even worse. You know? Cartel would operate on an even higher level based on the hype he facing, the hype around him right now and all of that. So everything has come back to agreement. Right? If the agreement is you pay me 80%, I come and perform, and you pay me the next 20% after the performance, or when I reach Trinidad, you pay me the next 20%, alright, all fine and well. But if that wasn't the agreement, then the promoter's wrong. Cartel have all rights to stay away if you want. Because regardless of how much you pay me, you didn't reach the agreement. And how am I supposed to trust that you will reach it when I come to Trinidad? Anything could happen when I reach to Trinidad. A thunderstorm could take place and wash out the whole show. Anything could happen. Right? So, based on my security as an artist, and based on how I function, and based on the high demands for me at this moment, I do have to come to perform where things are uncertain. Right? Now, in Cartel statement and all, he even talk about how they tried to do the event before during carnival time, and he disagreed with that. But they still tried to force it, and it didn't happen. You know, and all them months passed, and certain things still didn't finalize that was supposed to be finalized. Right? And to come now and still expect him to come through, despite the lack of certain things being finalized. Even though it's the majority of the money, they say they pay him. You know, all that we could say, I would have come because, but that's how the business does go. The business is a heartless business. Right? The business is strictly business. It's not no friend thing. Especially that's what we're cartelling there. It's not no friend thing at all. When he was in prison, he get to realize all who is his friends and all who he had a check for. So he do business. So it's that. You know, so I wouldn't say Cartel was wrong at all. You know, I feel sorry for the promoters. I know some of them personally, and well, not personally, but you know, I deal with a couple of them already. So I'm sorry this is what happened. Because I am happiness. I want people make the money. I want them fellas to make some real paper. Sorry that to pelt out all of that and lost out. Also sorry that the people who fly in and book hotel and all kind of thing. I'm sorry about that as well. Also the vendors, people who prepare food to carry down there, and then all that shit happened there. So thousands of people didn't show up based on Cartel not being there. Thousands of last minute people who buy ticket last minute didn't, you know, after they realized Cartel not showing up. Sorry, all of them things play off. Yeah. And some vendors who built out 20,000-30,000 in goods hoping to go down there and make all 50, 60,000 a night. It sounds like plenty money, but it's not plenty. Right to make. That money easy to make with a big crowd. But you see the part where you're pelting out, the 20,000, and then all of that, it come like the show almost cancel in a kind of way. That's real hard, boy. In these situations, poor people is always how to feel it, boy. And that is my advice. That is the advice I would like to give the government. UNC have always been supportive of artists. They've always been supportive of culture. And they always, for me, as far as I see, the most of the money I see spent in the last 20 years with culture is with UNC. So I know they support culture. Right? My advice to UNC is these kind of events, we have to really understand for people deserve the entertainment. And we have to know how to be lenient with certain things. We can't be against happiness, and we can't sour down that vibe, because a lot of people frustrated out here, and Cartel could sing what you want, the people love him, get the people with the love. It's just for one night. Don't jump it and fight it down too much, because that could work against the people in many, many ways. So look where them vendors are the face. I'm not saying this is UNC fault, but I'm just saying the real people lost out, and it did not be that way. It did not be that way. You know, so I wanted to come and say that. So bless up.